Our first game on the list is a solo game called Orchard. Orchard is originally it was a 9-card print and play solitaire game that you could just print a double-sided sheet of cards. You needed to use your own dice. It was so incredibly simple, and that is when I first came across it as a free download game. Since then, it has risen in popularity so much that you can actually buy this thing on Amazon in a really nice package. And not only that, Mark has developed 2 sequels to the game, and you can buy all 3 games in a collection. Personally, I don't think that's necessary. I own the collection, I've played all 3 games, and I feel like Orchard is the best. Now, that is not to say the other 2 are no good. They're just, if you've already scratched the itch, you don't just keep scratching. You don't dig deeper. Once the itch has been scratched, you're done. You move to a different game or a different scratch to itch, an itch to scratch. With that said, I think that if you really like these mechanics, owning all 3 is a good thing. For me, I think Orchard is enough, and I think that is where you should jump in if you want to give this game a try. What kind of game is it? Well, as I stated, it's a solo game, and you are nurturing an orchard. You are playing cards to a layout, and you're trying to puzzle these cards together so that you stack the same types of trees on top of each other. Because when you do that, you will get point multipliers. Your tree will grow and produce more fruit. And that's the ultimate goal here. You're trying to produce the most amount of fruit necessary. There are rotten fruit tokens. There are ways to kind of mulligan a decision. But in the long run, the better you can puzzle out how you're going to place your cards in order to create more points, more overlaps, the better you're going to do. Now, I'm not super good at puzzle games, and that's one of the reasons why I like this one, because it is such a... for me, there's no tension. That's what I'm looking for. The word is tension. And there's no tension here. No one's judging my performance, and I'm not playing against someone else who can rub it in my face when they do better than me. It's just me, the trees, the fruit, and I'm trying to make as good an orchard as possible. So I think the theme is really in line with the gameplay here, and normally I could care less about theme. I like to play regular, traditional playing card games, domino games, dice games, but I think Orchard does it well. I like the graphics or the images. I like the art style. It's very simple. Everything about it is simple. And I like the new modern packaging where it fits in your pocket, and the packaging that holds everything also doubles as a dice cup. That's awesome. So if you're looking for a solo game that is a puzzle game with a cute theme and it fits in your pocket and you can play it anywhere and it doesn't take up much real estate on the table, Orchard is your game. All right, moving on to number 2, which is a 2-player game. Number 1 was a solo game. Number 2 is a 2-player game. And that game is Fox in the Forest. Fox in the Forest is a 2-player trick-taking card game by designer Josh, I believe his name is Burgle. I always forget how to say his last name. Old Joshua, man, did he create a masterpiece? Yeah, I said it. I'm not going to say modern classic. That is so cliche, but this really is a masterpiece. And I think it's a modern classic because this is a 2-player trick-taking card game with nothing more than a really small deck and some scoring tokens that you don't even really need. You can just keep score on paper. In this game, you are trying to capture tricks, but not too many. It's a very simple premise. I like this because it does not require a bid. In bidding games, you're saying, I'm going to capture this many tricks. And then if you don't, there's a penalty and it's a feel bad moment. If you do, you earn points and that's a feel good moment. But it relies on your ability to judge how many tricks you're going to be able to take. And if you're not good at that, then you're not going to have a good time. In the Fox in the Forest, we take the bid out. And you are simply trying to capture a number of tricks within a certain range. And the better that you stay within that range, the more points you're going to get. It's a really nice system. I like it. What else this game does is include power cards that you can use that can bring a little chaos to the game. So it's not just a straight trick taker where you're trying to like take some, ignore some, but now you can really alter the game with these powers. And knowing when to play them right is the key. Again, this game does not need the theme of the fox in the forest, but it really adds a nice layer and makes it more pleasant. When I first did a video for this and a review for this, I was a little down on it. And I think what really changed it for me was the fact that it does have an app version that you can buy and play against a computer opponent. And that is where I really got to dig in and figure this game out and grow to love it and see it for what it is. I think this is a great game for people who grew up playing euchre or whist, or German whist, the 2-player game. I think people who grew up playing trick-taking card games are going to enjoy this and that wild element of the power cards. I think people who play games like Wizard are going to dig this because they're managing how many tricks they're taking. But the cool thing with that is it's much more organic. The game flows and ebbs, and you're trying to balance this. Okay, I'm close. I just need 1 or 2 more tricks. Oh no, I just got 5. Now I'm in the greedy range and I'm not going to get any points. Fox in the Forest, a great 2-player trick-taking card game. And my understanding is there's a deluxeified version coming out, which I'm a little kind of like, okay, let's not, figure out ways to re-dip into the well and milk that cow for everything it's worth. But according to Board Game Geek, there is a Fox in the Forest Deluxe coming out, and I think it's going to be super worth it. The Deluxe Edition includes, as I'm reading it from BGG, all new modules, special cards, gold cards, and poison cards. It features new illustrations, foil stamping, and acrylic tokens. That sounds delightful for someone who truly loves this game. And next on my list, we have a card game for 2 to 5 players. So it plays a few more people, and it is definitely more in the party game spectrum of the genre. And I think if you love Uno as much as I do, or if you just love Uno in general, you are going to love Exploding Minions. Okay, minions, not kittens. I am not a huge fan of the Exploding Kittens art, and I don't dig it. I don't like it, And I used to read the Oatmeal or whatever that comic was, the web comic. Again, the art was a turnoff. So when I saw Exploding Minions on the shelf, that was my cue to give it a try. And man, this is a good game. Good enough for me to look past the kitten artwork? Yes. Now that I've played it, I don't really care about the kittens. But what is this game? This is a Russian roulette style game where there is 1 deck of cards in the center. Within that deck, there's exploding cards, and if you draw the exploding card, you're out. Last person in wins. A very simple premise. But within that deck, there are all kinds of action cards. You have a small hand of cards that you can play from, and that will allow you to manipulate your turn or manipulate your opponent's turn. And with every card that is removed from the pile, the probability vice starts to close, increasing your chance of drawing the exploding minion, or in the regular game, the exploding kitten. There are a ton of expansions to this that I've not really played with. I've only played Exploding Mittens. Mittens? Exploding Minions. And I love this game. I will play it anytime, anywhere. And it is right up there with Uno in the pantheon of anytime, anywhere, play with anybody sort of games. Up next is Far Away. This is a set collection card game for 2 to 5 players. So again, in that sweet player count where it could be, it's good at 2, it's good at 3, it's good at 4, it's good at 5. I love this game. BGG says best at 3. I really enjoyed it at all the player counts. This is designed by Johan Goopy, Quarantine Lebrat, sorry if I messed up your names, artist Maxime Morin. This is a wonderful, wonderful set collection game with a really awesome hook. In this game, you're going to create a line of cards. At the end of the round, you are going to score those cards backwards. So you need to be thinking as you go about how you're building that row of cards to be scored the opposite direction. It's such a mind-bendy thing the first time you play. And without fail, when I teach this, first, the person I'm teaching thinks they know what they're doing. But then as soon as we go to score, you see that confidence change to confusion, then change to, aha, we have to play this again. And I love that. First, I love seeing the light bulb come on and seeing it click in their head how to score it. But then I immediately also love the fact that we're playing again right away. That really speaks to that hook and the links within the game loops of drawing from a pool, strategizing how you're going to play the cards in your hand, mapping out that row of cards, but doing it in such a way that it scores correctly. And if that were all it was, that would be great. But there's more. Sanctuary cards. You earn sanctuary cards, you play them out, and they offer point multipliers at the end of the round. And don't even get me started on the artwork. The idea that you're going on this journey and coming home again, I think really comes alive with the card. I love this strange world that they've created in the art. And for me, the game needs to stand on the mechanics, not the way it looks. But when a designer, when a company can put forth a game that does both really well, you got me. So, Far Away is an awesome game. If you have not gave it a try, I suggest you do, especially if you like rummy games. I think anyone who loves to play gin or 500 rum or canasta might enjoy this game. I think it has that same feel. And in my experience, playing with other people who I play rummy with, they liked the game. So that's Far Away. Moving on to my final game. Oh, that was my final game. Well, shoot. How did I lose track? And that sums up my list of 4 games I want to share. I do have one more I'm going to make as an honorable mention. I was trying to stick to just card games, but you know what? Let's throw in Strike. Strike is a dice game for 2 to 5 players, designed by Dieter Nubel. Again, I apologize if I messed up your name. And oh my goodness, this game is awesome. The premise is simple. Everybody gets a set number of dice. And on your turn, you're going to chuck those dice into a bowl in the middle of the table. Any matches you make, you get to take out of the bowl and keep. Once you run out of dice, you're out of the game. Last player in the game wins. If you make all of the dice in the bowl match, that means you get to take all of the dice out of the bowl, leaving your next player with an empty bowl. What does that mean for them? Then they have to go all in. They have to throw all of their dice. Of course, risking the fact that they might get no matches, especially they might not get any matches. Risking the fact that they might not get any matches, especially if they only have 1 or 2 dice. Some people will say there's nothing to this game. It's not a game. It's lame. They're wrong. This game is awesome. And if you really lean into this theme of trying to manipulate the dice that are in the bowl, especially when there's already a good number in there, and then you're chucking dice in trying to hit other dice to re-roll them essentially, it's a lot of fun. There's penalties for missing the bowl. Or if you mess up your roll and it bounces out, those dice are gone forever for that game. It's a lot of fun. When I brought this one out with my poker group, you know, we kind of stray away from poker games once in a while. This game stole the show. So highly recommend. This is my bonus pick. Strike the Dice game. Give it a shot. All right, that's all I have for you today. Attached to this video, which might be my final video for the year, is the fundraiser for Toys for Tots. The last I checked, we already hit the $1,000 goal, which is amazing. I am not sure what charity I'm going to be focusing on next year. I appreciate all of you who made a donation to that organization, helping children who are not so fortunate have a Merry Christmas. I've got some videos here for you. My game Collapsy is right there if you want to check it out. That's a 2-player abstract game of my design. One that I am super, super proud of. I am working on a 3D printable version of that game with my cousin. So we are in the process of getting that done. I foresee that coming out early 2026. And of course, I've got some more designs that I'm working on as well. I've got an itch.io page. That is my home base where you can download the rules to my games and see what I've been up to in the design space. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, keep on playing.